This is Grief and Grit, from heartache to high fives with a dash of sass. The podcast that turns the tables on traditional grief talks with a fresh, sassy spin. Listen in for candid conversations about the messy, awkward, and downright hilarious aspects of dealing with loss. Because sometimes the best way to cope is with a little laughter and a lot of grit.
Hi, Simonie.
Hi, Greer. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
And hi, everybody.
I know. Hello.
Your first time seeing us. We
That's
are
right.
real people.
We are humans, in fact, and this is us.
Yeah. So, welcome. How's
Yes.
everything going?
It's fine. I'm gonna be honest. The video recording definitely makes me feel a little uncomfortable, but we're going with it because it wouldn't be uncomfortable without it's just such a natural thing talking about grief and discomfort and here we go. I feel like I fit in well with the topic.
Yeah, just another layer of discomfort to grief is seeing yourself live.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I had an interesting morning as you heard.
Yes, I want to hear more though. We didn't really get into it.
Okay, so the kids were getting ready and going off to camp. My dad took them to camp. Bless him, thank God. I got ready to come here to your house, Simonie, so that we could record.
Right.
And I walk out with all my stuff. I get in the car, I turn on the car, and I realize there's sunscreen on my car.
Oh.
Now, this is after we noticed there was sunscreen on Jared's car as well. That's what my dad usually drives the kids in because it has the car seats and everything.
Right.
And so he had already cleaned it off and it looked immaculate. So anyways, I'm like, shoot, I'm going to be late to Simonie's because now I have to clean sunscreen off my windshield.
Oh, and that creates like a film.
Yes. And he also did it on the passenger side mirror. So this was Jack. This is my son who is totally the guilty culprit, and I have to think of a consequence because originally the consequence was going to be that he couldn't have screen time until he cleaned it off. But I went ahead and my dad came out and I was like, guess who? So it turned out he actually took the other car to get cleaned at a car wash. So I think I'm gonna have to do that too. And I also found some on the inside. I'm like, oh. So anyways, that's my morning. Love him so much.
Love him. I know. And you know me, I've got such a soft spot for Jack.
I know.
I know. And these are just
I do too. So yes, I know that he clearly was not thinking when he did this. So I think I'm gonna have to put the sunscreen behind lock and key.
For sure. For sure. Or he'll have a consequence that'll make him not do that again.
Yeah, I know. I just have to figure out what that is. So for any of those of you listening, I know
yeah.
I need ideas for consequences that will help a highly impulsive guy understand that we can't do things like that.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, that is.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's your car for now, which is good, but you don't want him doing it to other people's cars.
Right. And
I don't think he would.
Yeah,
Not
I
Jack.
don't think so either. He didn't even touch my dad's car.
Jack.
It was just ours.
I know. And you know what? At some point, it's like, what is a fine line between just a mischievous little boy?
Right.
And, you know, boys will be boys. I mean, that's what they do.
With Jack, so he has, for anyone who is parenting and dealing with a child with ADHD, Jack has ADHD, and it's a pretty significant case, especially around the impulsivity. And he's he's been on medication, and we actually are testing a new one as of Thursday of last week.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
only been a few days, but it's not working. So I love him so much. We are going to get through it.
You
But
will.
I will say, doing this alone, oh my God. Like, this
It's
is
not no,
no, yeah,
no.
it
So
is
for
not a cakewalk.
no, no, no. Oh my gosh, no. So for those of you who are walking the same journey and raising children, it's not easy. Give yourself
No,
some grace. And
truly.
it's okay though, because you will get through it. They do grow up.
This they do. They
They do
do.
grow up.
And you have some updates about your grown-up children,
So
right?
yeah, so they all having a fabulous summer.
Yeah.
Ariella, one of my twins, she went to Israel on a birthright program,
Yeah.
which was fabulous. Well, war broke out
Yes,
halfway through,
it did.
and birthright were phenomenal in getting the kids out of Israel.
Mm.
But, and if you know the Levies, this is how we roll. My child decided, I don't need to leave Israel in the middle of a war. I'm going to stay. And so there she is. She's staying, she's volunteering. She's looking for maybe working in the ambulance department. And so, yeah, so an
Wow.
interesting summer. Hannah's in New York. So they're just having completely different summer experiences.
really are.
Hannah's working in corporate America. So yeah, it's been many a sleepless night,
Mhm.
lots of praying and hoping that there's a resolution soon for all countries involved.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's, all the innocents who pay the price, and we're just all hoping for a good outcome for
Yeah.
both countries.
Safety and peace for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a very exciting, nerve-wracking start to the summer. And again, being that only parent, when we were kind of making the decision of what she should do, there was no other parent to turn to and say, well, they
The
we lose,
soundboard, the sounding
yeah,
board.
yeah, we lose
Yeah.
that teamwork. We
Yes.
lose being part of a team
Exactly.
where you make those decisions. So it really was, I was wrestling with it. And eventually I was like, this is her journey. This is her path. And I have to support her and work through it with her. And she's doing amazing. She loves it, living her best life. And she has no fear. So it's helping me not have the same fear.
You're such a good mama.
Well, we all try our best. We all try our best.
We do.
So speaking of summer,
Mm-hmm.
this brings us to today's episode, which
Yes.
is, what does summer mean when you're grieving?
Right.
And what does it bring up? And, you know, we're looking and we're saying that, summer blues, like,
Right.
is that something that it really is?
Yeah.
It's so sunny out, it's so bright, but we're in it. So
I think it goes back to just it reinforces the isolation in so many ways. And we'll go through the different ways and whys and all of that. But yeah, it is not always
sunny
the
and bright.
fun. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sweaty and emotionally unstable.
I love that. Yeah. That's it in a nutshell.
Especially when you live in Atlanta with our heat and humidity. I think
Yeah.
the high is 94 today. So
Yeah.
hello, heat wave.
I know. I think it's a heat wave throughout the country.
I think so.
Two of my kids are in New York and I think it's in the hundreds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very,
Well,
very tough.
we're just gonna have to take a dip in the
I
pool,
think so,
Simonie.
right? Definitely.
I'm gonna be my
Definitely.
bathing suit next time.
Please, you have to.
Right?
But it's true because summer does it kind of makes the sunshine, the vibe, everybody's out, everyone's on vacation. And it kind of makes grief feel a little out of place. Like, where does grief fit into this whole summer vibe?
Right. Like grief is gloomy, and you think of the clouds and the
Correct.
rainstorms. And, that's what the imagery of grief typically will include. And then, it doesn't include smiling sunshine.
No, no.
That's just not the picture.
Exactly. And I think that also summer reinforces, as you said, Greer, the isolation.
Yes.
It's looking at all these families that are together and, going on vacation, having those barbecues, dads teaching kids to swim. That's where social media comes in and everything that looks so
Right.
perfect.
Yes.
So it does. It makes you feel more isolated and more in your grief.
There's a pressure to be happy. And when you're in your grief, that it complicates it. There's this expectation of how you are supposed to act, think, carry yourself. And that's just not realistic when you're grieving, especially when you're in the thick of it or nearing an anniversary or a milestone. It's just not realistic. And everyone else is trying to enjoy their summer and the cool vibes and all of that summer brings. That's often not
Not
how
what we're
we're
feeling.
feeling.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that that's how you should feel in the summer. But if you do, it's okay, and it's pretty normal to be feeling like that in the summer. It can be a very hard season. Um, you know, it's bright outside, your world is dark, and especially in the beginning, in the very beginning stages and the very beginning steps of grief,
Right.
it's so blatant.
Yes.
It's to sound so cliche, it's like as blatant as the sun blazing.
Yeah. And it's just a reminder that life keeps going on for everyone else. And oftentimes we feel stuck, not necessarily stuck in our grief, but that we're living in this alternate reality
Mm-hmm.
where, again, yes, I see that it's sunny outside and everyone's having fun, but in my mind, it's lonely and too dark, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different.
Yeah. And, of course, there's so many triggers
So
to our
many.
grief. I remember when we first came back to Atlanta from living in New York, um, we lived in a community that had a community pool. And, for those listeners who don't know, my husband, Mark, who passed away in New York, I came back to Atlanta a year after he passed away.
That was your first trip, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I came back to Atlanta. We were living in this neighborhood. We had a pool, and of course the kids were young, so they were all about, let's go swimming and let's spend the days at the pool. And it was tough. It was really, because I was a year out from losing Mark. We'd lost him the year before. And to see all these kids with dads, and it just magnified what my world had become, what our world had become. So that was very triggering. And, as you know, Greer, and I'm sure so many of you out there, we want to make everything good for our kids.
Yeah.
So they were young. And so I was forced and faced with this reality every single day of summer because
Yeah.
they wanted to go swimming every single day.
Oh my goodness.
And that was tough.
It's interesting that you say that. So Jared died May 1st, and it was, I guess, what, 3 weeks before Jack's preschool graduation. And also like pool season, summer, and my kids were 3 and 4. And they couldn't really swim on their own. They had been taking swim lessons, but we weren't quite there yet.
Right.
And I just remember I would take them to the pool on my own, and I was terrified because
Of course.
I had to help and be there for each one of them. And so being at the pool was triggering because you see all these happy families, all the dads doing cannonballs and, playing with the kids and teaching
Right.
them all the fun swim things and how to dive for toys and all that. And I'm just like praying that neither one of my kids goes to the bottom of the pool and drowns.
Right.
And then we come home from that and everyone's tired. We have to do showers and baths, and they're screaming and crying, and it was brutal. I even remember I signed up the kids almost immediately after Jared died for one of those ISR swim classes. And I know people have different beliefs about them, and that's okay. Everyone, I support whatever you think and what's best for your kids and your family. For me, I desperately and quickly needed my kids to be able to at least swim safely to the side of the pool. God forbid something happened. I could not bear the anxiety was crippling at that point.
100%.
And it just, again, the triggers and the invites for the barbecues, and Jared's birthday is in July, and it was a lot.
It's a lot.
It was a lot.
It's very overwhelming. It's very, very triggering.
Yes. And, here as the parents grieving our spouses or whomever you might be grieving, I still had to plow forward. We have a 4th of July parade that comes down at the top of our street. It's really cute and just something fun.
Right.
And when we bought the house, we knew and we planned oh my gosh, every year this will be our thing and people can come in do this with us. And hadn't even started the tradition yet with Jared. And here, I'm hauling this stuff up the top to the top of the street to put our chairs up and, just get ready to watch the parade. And again, it's just okay, we're building new memories and there's this person missing.
Yeah.
And that's not what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it is. It's that constant, well, where are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, as I say, social media.
Oh my God.
Definitely doesn't help.
It can be.
It's really brutal.
It is all the happy summer vacations that you see people taking and it's a reminder of everything that we don't and can't have.
It's so true. It is
all the reasons.
Yeah. And then, so it's all the triggers that that you would have in the summer. But then I think for me, there came a turning point where we were able to start creating our new summer memories and our new summer plans. And yes, Mark would always be missing from that, but we did go ahead and we have had some memorable and wonderful vacations, both locally. I've managed, thankfully, to be able to take the kids on some overseas trips. And those have been, I think, bonding as a family.
Yeah.
Those have made us close. Those have made us the core memories because they need it.
Yeah.
Especially that our kids were so young when it happened.
Right.
They can't have a blank memory bank where there's no memories.
Exactly.
So there does come a time where you are able to get out there, as hard as it is, as difficult as it is, create those new memories, create those new summer traditions.
Right. And also it's taking those old traditions and thinking, do we continue those? Do we tweak them because our person's not here? I was talking with a friend of mine who is recently divorced, and they have a family tradition of doing a trip every summer, and it would be the four of them. And my friend was asking me if they should go, still go as the three of them, this
Mm-hmm.
person and their two kids, knowing that the they're divorced now. And I said, I would go.
Mm-hmm.
The first time is going to be really hard. And I'm not saying that the other times won't be hard, but the first is the hardest. You go through the pain and the triggers the first time, and it's almost like ripping off a band-aid.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that the kids really were looking forward to and wanted to do. So
Right.
it's kind of also taking their lead, knowing it hurts for us in different ways, but still continuing the tradition and adapting it. It just now looks different.
Correct.
So, something to keep in mind of if you're kind of grappling with, do I still do this? Do I not? Think about the long-term effects.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to continue the tradition, what is lost from that? If you are going to continue the tradition, what is lost from that? How is it different? Is it
Right.
something that you can cope with? It's okay to cry. It's okay for other people to see you
Absolutely.
cry.
Absolutely. And especially your children.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's just working through that and changing your expectations and honestly trying to really eliminate any expectations
Mm-hmm.
other than it's going to be different. I don't know how it's going to be different. I just know it's going to feel different.
Correct. Correct. And you would be surprised, you can really enjoy yourself and really have a good time. And that's
Exactly.
okay as well.
Right.
Sometimes there's guilt involved in, well, I can't really enjoy myself to such an extent,
Hmm.
but you can and
Right.
you should.
And it becomes more bearable and easier to fully enjoy as time goes on.
Exactly.
Now, 4 years out, I enjoy traveling with my kids way more
Yeah.
than those first couple
Oh,
trips. The first couple
absolutely.
trips were purely about survival and getting through
Yeah.
them, to be
Yeah.
honest.
No, 100%.
And almost proving that I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I can do it. Now I want to have fun.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
just something to keep in mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's solo parenting is so complex. There's nothing easy about it. Whether you're talking summer, winter, autumn, spring, I mean, it's hard. It's
Mhm.
complex, and a lot of complexity comes with it. A lot of nuances, a lot of experiences.
Right.
So, and I think it's important to recognize that.
Absolutely. Summer also adds in another layer for those parenting and those not, where there's a lack of routine.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
Maybe you have summer Fridays at work, so your work schedule is a little different.
Correct.
Maybe you're not even working this summer because maybe you're in education or something where it's just not, there's a break.
Mm-hmm.
And then when there are kids in the home, there's no school.
Yeah.
There are
There's
no
no structure.
extracurriculars.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and
Yeah.
that can be brutal in so many ways. So it's really just getting through it, um, realizing and being able to look back and reflect at the end of the summer, okay, what worked well?
Yeah.
What didn't?
Yeah.
What was really hard? What were your triggers and pain points? And then really trying to remember those, write them down somewhere so that you don't forget them. And then as you're starting to kind of creep up to the following summer and figure out planning, do you need your kids in camp because it was just too much? Maybe they're feral and, spray
Spraying
sunscreen on
sunscreen.
cars. I don't know. Not my family.
Yeah.
Definitely not my kids. So it's again, it's just
It's a
trying.
process.
It
It's
is.
a process. It's a process of elimination. And you know what? It's okay if you do find something didn't work for you
Right,
and then you repeat it the next summer without even thinking about it. It
right.
may be easier and it may be even worse. And eventually, I think the fog becomes clearer.
Hmm.
And sometimes that sunshine does start to trickle through because it's okay to whatever you have to feel, it's okay. You don't need to pressure yourself and say, well, I have to make it fun and I
Right,
have to make it perfect. Even not as a solo parent,
right.
you know, you don't have to have those expectations on yourself.
Exactly. It's being able to, yes, we want to create memories, positive memories, good memories. We also need time to nap
Mm-hmm.
and recharge. And
Correct.
that's something like, for instance, when I travel with my kids, especially if we're in a hotel, I just go ahead and I'll get in bed at the same time that they go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll either watch something on my iPad with my headphones on, or I'll scroll on my phone, I'll read a book, but that's my time.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they're in the same room, I'm still able to kind of get that energy and quiet time that I'm needing.
Absolutely.
So again, it's
Absolutely.
just, yeah, it's figuring out what works and what doesn't. You won't figure it out though if you don't try it.
Yeah. So take that first step. Don't be afraid and don't put pressure on yourself that your kids, every single minute of the summer, something has to be happening that
Right.
makes it fun and makes it exciting. You're not the chairperson of the entertainment committee. So it's
And if you
okay.
are, then find someone else to take your role.
It's let them have that downtime. Let them
Yeah.
figure it out as well. We can't fill every need that our children have.
Right.
And I think that's really important as well.
Exactly. So, things that have really helped us is I feel there's a lot of mom guilt that I've experienced over the summer, and I'm really just trying to let that go. This weekend was super boring for me and my kids, and I needed to do some things around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? It was fine.
It
They
was fun.
experienced some boredom. They eventually came out of it and figured out some fun things to do and played
Exactly.
with their toys. I let them watch more TV during the summer than I do
Mm-hmm.
during the school year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's fine. We
Absolutely.
get through. So it's lowering those expectations and trying not to feel guilty. It's okay if you don't want to go through the process of like get packing everything up and going to the pool, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it's okay. And it's also okay if you just really want to push yourself, do what works for you in the
Absolutely.
moment.
Absolutely. So we made a grief-friendly little summer list
Yeah,
for everyone who's listening.
exactly.
Um, try one outdoor thing,
Yes.
whatever that is, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's medicine.
Right.
It's been proven medicinally that we need sun, we need vitamin D, and it does lift your spirits.
Right. Go for a hike, or
Or
maybe if you haven't been to the pool yet, go to the pool.
or even just be, in your yard
Yes,
taking weeds out,
totally.
whatever it is.
Clean out the garage.
Yeah, whatever it is, but try and do one outdoor thing because
Mhm.
the sun really, really does help.
Yes.
Um, and then, you can even start creating your own rituals and your own traditions.
Hmm.
Find something that's going to create a memory or a new tradition that you've started,
Right.
something that becomes something that you will do every year?
Something that the kids and I have been doing more of this summer is playing games.
Yeah.
There's a game that we've had for a while and never played. It's called Ticket to Ride. And like
Right.
we all learned the other night and just had a great time.
I like
And
that.
like I had some one-on-one time with Amelie a couple of nights ago, and she wanted to play. There's another fun game we like, Muddles, and
Right.
it's cute. And again, it's just playing games. I remember I used to play games
Yeah.
with my grandmother a
Right.
lot,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I was shuffling cards and did the rainbow, and Amelie really wants to be able to do that.
Oh,
And I told her, I said, you know what? I used to just practice at the table, shuffling the cards. And then once I got really good at it, then grandma showed me how to do the rainbow. And, it just, again, like it's just a nice memory ritual. It connects me to those core memories, and hopefully it's creating memories for
absolutely.
them.
I love that. I think that's amazing. And then, which you don't have to wait for the summer for this next
No,
one.
this is
This is all, this is
one of
year
my
round.
favorites.
It's one lazy
Oh my
indulgence.
God.
So whatever that, whatever that looks
This
like.
is my favorite one.
Yeah, like, and that's why I'm saying don't just limit that to the
Yeah.
summer.
Mm-mm.
So whatever it is, if you, I don't know,
A
if you,
nap.
yeah,
Oh
a
my
nap.
gosh. Binge watching a show
Well, I was going
or
to
a
say,
movie.
me right now,
Oh,
you know me, I'm so into Call the Midwife.
so
So if
good.
any of you have watched it or haven't watched it, you need to.
It's so
So
good.
that's become my absolute lazy indulgence.
Jared used to make so much fun of me for loving that show so much. He was like, you were clearly born in the wrong decade and the wrong continent. I'm like, thanks.
I know. So Bianca, who's my eldest, her husband is like, "Oh, here we go again. Call the midwife." But that's
It
what
makes
it
me
is.
happy. It's an
Exactly.
indulgence.
It's
Yes.
mindless. So whatever that is for you, if it's just lying on a sofa and drinking a cup of coffee, whatever it is for you, just find that one indulgence. And as I say, it could be summer, winter, whenever it is, but do it because we need it.
Yes. And then a really important one is one laugh. So every week, I've really tried to make sure that I'm either going out with friends one night or they're coming over. I've started doing mahjong with friends,
Love
and like
that.
we're laughing.
Yes.
It's so nice.
Yes.
And I'm also not stressed out with the school year and homework. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
So I also feel like I'm able to laugh more with the kids and be silly
Exactly.
because I'm not on their butts about getting your homework done or
Correct.
racing to this activity and that activity. So it just laughing, it's so good for the soul.
They're so
It's so
good.
good for the soul.
So just find, even if it's watching a TV show that makes you laugh, that's important.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
I
There
think,
we go.
for everyone out there, we wish you a wonderful summer. Um, you know, take some of these pointers. I think they will help.
Yes,
And I know,
definitely. It's summer, thankfully, it's only a few months.
yeah,
As with everything else, you'll get through summer just like we get through everything. And it's okay to feel the blues. If you can, try to recognize the triggers and use our list and see if it can help you get through the summer, maybe with a smile or two.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
just, take in some of that sunshine. It really helps the soul and it'll help you.
Yeah.
So
You're not broken, you're grieving. So just
exactly.
hang in there.
Hang in there. It gets
Okay.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
thank you all for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you can also follow us on Substack. And We hope that you'll share this podcast, Grief and Grit, with friends and family who might find it helpful. And we will be back soon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you love what you heard, please follow Grief and Grit and share our podcast with your friends and family.